Hey soldiers, Sam Bankman-Fried's back in the news. He has been handed additional federal charges, this time for bribing Chinese officials. And this is kind of weird too. I'm going to tell you the weird part in a minute because they're charging him with this, but the way it worked out is just kind of, it's just kind of funny when you think about it. I'll get to that in a second. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up, help me with the algorithm, help me spread this message. And also, if you have not subscribed, if you have not enlisted, please hit that subscribe button and enlist in the Soldiers of Finance. We will not make you get up in the morning, 5 o'clock, do any PT or anything like that. I will salute you if you put in the comments after you subscribed. Let me know that you subscribed and I will salute you. Salute to all of the Soldiers of Finance, wherever they are around the world. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried charged with bribing Chinese officials. Geez, they're going international with this thing now. U.S. indictment, this is a new indictment, alleges FTX founder directed payoff to regain access to more than $1 billion in frozen cryptocurrency. All right, so you know the U.S. Attorney's Office, Damian Williams' office up there in New York. They are the ones that are prosecuting this whole thing. Prosecutors accused FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried of conspiring to conspire. I just added that. I like saying that. Conspiring to conspire. But in all seriousness, they are charging him with conspiring to bribe Chinese government officials to regain access to more than $1 billion in frozen cryptocurrency. Now, it's funny they use the word conspiring to bribe. Hang with me. In a new indictment that charged Bankman-Fried with violating U.S. anti-corruption laws. U.S. anti-corruption laws apparently apply internationally. The indictment unsealed Tuesday is the third Mr. Bankman-Fried has faced since the collapse of the crypto exchange. Now, don't mistake indictments with charges. Some of these indictments have multiple charges in them. It alleges, this latest indictment alleges that in 2021, he authorized bribing one or more Chinese government officials with at least $40 million in cryptocurrency to regain access to accounts that the country's law enforcement had frozen as part of a continuing investigation into a party that traded with his cryptocurrency investment firm, Alameda Research. So here's where we get into the curious part. Because again, they're charging him with conspiracy to bribe. The accounts held with two of China's largest cryptocurrency exchanges contained more than $1 billion in cryptocurrency, according to the indictment. So he sees that as a bargain. I'll pay $40 million and get back $1 billion. He sees that as a bargain. I mean, who wouldn't? Really. Mr. Bankman-Fried directed Alameda employees to pay the bribe after months of failed attempts to regain control of the accounts, prosecutors said. The accounts were unfrozen at the time a first illicit payment was made, the indictment alleges. Mr. Bankman-Fried then authorized an additional payment of tens of millions of dollars to complete the bribe, the indictment says. So look, I'm no lawyer, and I know we do have some in the audience. I'm not sure why he's being charged with conspiracy to bribe. Sounds like he did bribe them, unless the Chinese officials were working with America all along, and he paid this money as part of some sting operation. I don't know if that's the case or not. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, which is prosecuting the case, declined to comment. A representative from the Chinese embassy declined to comment. And of course, Sam Bankman-Fried and his folks declined to comment, which is unusual for Sam Bankman-Fried. He must understand now how serious this thing is, because before he was just talking to anyone who would listen. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, YouTubers, whatever, okay? Not saying anything about this. The bribery allegations add to the mounting legal pressures facing Mr. Bankman-Fried and demonstrate the breadth of the Justice Department's investigation. Yeah, it really does. Again, they are going over and working with the Chinese to get this guy. See, that's what I always talk about. When you consider going up against the federal government, look at how far and wide they are reaching to get the goods on this guy. All right. Now, I do think Sam Bankman-Fried has a lot of money squirreled away somewhere or access to it. But apparently, that's really the only way you can challenge the government. So we'll see. We'll see. The charges are stacking up. Will this be it? Did he try to bribe any other government officials to get money from any other countries? Who knows? We will see if the prosecutors charge that in the future. In addition to a series of fraud charges, prosecutors have also alleged he violated U.S. campaign finance law in a bid to curry favor in Washington. Now, in addition to what's going on here, Sam Bankman-Fried also has some new bail conditions, right, that the courts have decided on for him. And I still can't get over that because, you know, those of us who are less well-heeled and would not be able to afford this caliber of legal representation, we wouldn't be arguing over bail conditions. It probably would have us remanded and sit in a jail cell awaiting trial. Mr. Bankman-Fried faces an uphill battle as he prepares for trial in October. Of course, we know that 3 members of his inner circle, Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang, and Nishad Singh, have all pleaded guilty. So, you know, they probably were instrumental in tipping the government off to what happened over in China. But like I said, he's got some new conditions placed on him with regard to his bail. U.S. District Judge Joseph Kaplan, Judge Lewis Kaplan, not Joseph, Lewis Kaplan, approved new bail restrictions for Mr. Bankman-Fried after months of debate over his access to electronic devices. Because as we all know, Sam Bankman-Fried, to say he's computer savvy or internet literate would be quite the understatement. So he's got some new conditions on him as he awaits trial. Now we know he's on home detention, living at his parents' house. It's a nice home, a backyard pool, very nice place. So he's cooling his heels over there. So they're saying that under these new restrictions, Mr. Bankman-Fried will be prohibited from using his parents' computers. And see, that's where the strength of this audience comes in. Once again, there were plenty of people in the comments on earlier videos that we did on Sam Bankman-Fried and his bail conditions who said, hey, wait a minute. So what, he's got to use a dumb phone without internet access? He could just use his parents' phone. The judge needs to make him, prohibit him rather, from using his parents' phone. And guess what? Apparently, Judge Lewis Kaplan is a soldier of finance, because that's exactly what he has done. In addition to that, he can't use his parents' computers either. So no phones, computers, tablets, all off limits. He can only visit pre-approved websites and must use only, he shouldn't be able to use any websites, but whatever. He must only use a phone without internet access. We've been over that. Check this out. Now, here's a question I have. Who will pay for this? A security guard will also screen any visitors for electronic devices, which the guard will confiscate before the person enters Mr. Bankman-Fried's home. Who's paying for that? It can't be Bankman-Fried, because that would be a little bit of a conflict of interest, don't you think? In this case, I actually do hope the government is paying for it, because that would mean that the security guard is not beholden in any way to Bankman-Fried. And once they convict him, then I guess they can go after reimbursement. Prosecutors said in a letter to the judge Tuesday that the new charge did not change their position on his bail conditions. So they're not going to seek remand to jail in light of these new charges on Sam Bankman-Fried. Mr. Bankman-Fried is scheduled to be arraigned on the latest indictment at a hearing on Thursday. So that's the latest. It's going on with him. he is embroiled in just more and more trouble. Um, it's just amazing. So we're going to see how it all shakes out. Um, I believe that Sam Bankman-Fried will serve a substantial amount of time in prison. A lot of these soldiers are skeptical as to whether or not that will happen. Believe me, it will. In fact, I think that if these charges continue to stack up the way they have been, I think there's a good chance that Sam Bankman-Fried might plead guilty after all. Because with more charges, of course, comes more potential years behind bars. So if you are staring at, now I don't know, I think he's looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of like 75 years right now. That could be low. I could be very conservative on that. But if you're looking at that right now, before this new round of charges for conspiracy to bribe the Chinese, if you're looking at over 100 years, man, you got to start thinking, if I lose this, I'm betting a lot. If I lose this, I could never see the light of day again. Sam Bankman-Fried's young, okay? So if he got 50 years, there's a chance, okay, that he could see the light of day again. But we'll see what happens. In the meantime, guys, listen. We are alive at a very interesting time. It's good to be alive because we are witnessing history. We are witnessing the end of the American economic empire that has shaped politics around the world. We've got some new players in town, okay, that are rising in prominence, and it's partly due to the lack of leadership here in the United States and bad policy on behalf of the United States. Check out this report we did. That's going to, break down the end of U.S. economic dominance and talk about some things that you need to be aware of as we go through this transition in the West and as the East rises. Guys, I will talk to you soon.